eligible? I mean, how it's going to be?
Okay, Kumar. As you are coming from the development side, you know, we will be having a very good hands-on technology, right?
Yes.
You know the softwares, you know the interfaces, you know about databases, connectivity and all that, right?
Yes.
So this will be your plus point. Okay, a person directly coming from commerce background, he have the accounting knowledge, but he will be having some challenges on the software. They have to learn it, right?
Okay.
So either you are on this side or that side. Okay, both are same. Only all that you have to do is to, you know, you have to study something about accounting, some basic fundamental concepts. Because we are
Okay.
not going to maintain the accounting books manually over here. Everything will be
Okay.
pre-planned. The software has been designed in such a way so that you don't have to do anything manually.
Okay.
Okay, you have to understand the concepts over here. Once you are okay with all the concepts, you know, then you can work flawlessly over here. And with the due course of time, you will learn accounting also. Because
Okay.
every day you will start working on all these concepts, you will be started learning what is balance sheet, what is P&L, what are the debits, credits, how to handle them into the system, what may be the challenges that you have to face, what are the areas that you have to study. Simply understand it. Every company works on two fundamental concepts: accounts
Oh,
payable and accounts receivables. Means whatever you are procuring and whatever you are selling it,
yeah.
right? So sales and purchase are two phases over here
Okay.
that you have to understand. For implementing those AP and AR, you should have little bit knowledge of accounts also, like you know what exactly you are doing, what are the contents that are going to be in a balance sheet and P&L, profit and loss statement, you know, and then you will learn about some new concepts like what is general ledger, you will learn what is cash journals, what is asset
Yeah, as
accounting.
a part of the, I mean, as a part of my MCA, I mean, we have one subject in
Subject.
accounting and basic fundamentals. So there,
Okay, so
there I came across, I mean, the journals and general ledger and how to post the journals into the general ledger and general
exactly,
journal.
and you might be having the practical classes on Tally also, right?
No, no practical classes, but that is pure theoretical stuff. Okay, I mean,
Yeah, basically when you do the practical exam, you have to write the things onto the Tally also. Sometimes I heard about it.
oh, okay.
Even I'm an MCA. I have did my MCA, then I did MBA.
Oh,
So
okay.
you know, I have studied it as a part of my curriculum earlier.
Yeah, okay. So
Okay,
it's not
so not
the
to worry.
basics.
Just
The basics
cooperate.
is
Okay, whatever challenges you have, you know, I will try to resolve it on the whatever best I can do.
okay.
What I will do, I'll give you some software dumps
Uh-huh.
and some, you know, some materials also where you can learn about the financial stuffs.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
let me take you to the presentation. I'll present the SAP FICO stuffs over here, and this will be more about the course, how this course is going to be and how it will proceed further. All right.
Sure.
Okay. Guys, so basically we are here to discuss SAP. SAP is a ERP package. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning Systems. ERP is a platform basically where you can actually do a lot of things. I'm talking about organizations. Say for example, there is a company called XYZ. They have their sales, they have their finances, they have their HR, procurement, I mean the material management, production planning, you know, a lot of stuffs are there. So we are generally taking care of all the departments of a organization into a single software module. And then you are processing their data, you are giving the outcomes to them, you are giving reports. You know, when you implement a ERP, it is on the long-term basis. You will see the advantage of software in next 1 or 2 years. Okay, what exactly you are going to do? You are going to you know, document everything that you do, all the transaction that you do. So this is more because you are trying to get into the FICO stuffs, finances and controlling. So it will be more into transaction postings, you know, and then afterwards how to simulate the transaction and how to create reports out of them, right? So first of all, we'll start with the ERP package. What exactly the functionality it is having. First of all, you will be able to see integrated system, right?
Yeah.
Integrated system means, see, here I'm going to take you to, material management module. Say you have a production facility, you are manufacturing pens. So you might have to buy raw materials, like you have to buy refills, you have to buy plastics, you should be having some machinery, molding machines or something, right? So all these are your purchases. Then on regular basis, you will buy things like, raw materials and all those stuff. So what exactly happens when you are buying something? You are in material management module, or you can say it in other terms, procurement part. So once you procure something, there should be some vendors from whom you are going to buy the products. Once you have products with you, then you have to make payment. So whenever payment thing comes, your systems comes to financial accounting, because all the payments are done from financial side only. So how it will go? You will create a purchase order. When goods are being delivered to you, or maybe advance payment can also be there. So once goods are delivered to you, there will be an invoice. That invoice will be sent to financial accounting, and you have to make payment of that. Okay, you have got the materials into inventory now. Now you start producing the products. Once products are there, then you have to sell it into the market also. So you have to take care of your customers. So you are taking care of sales and distribution module of SAP. Means you have your customers, you have to generate the sales. There will be some sales orders, there will be customers, there will be payments, invoices and all that. Till sales, it is all right. Once invoice will be there, the financial accounting will again receive the payment. So you will see one module it is interacting is material management module, from where we are buying products, and on the other hand we have sales and distribution module, which is for selling the products. So you are investing some money into the materials, and then once you convert them into finished goods, you are basically selling them to customers and getting the revenue. Same thing will happen when you go through the HR modules. A lot of workers are working in your company. You have to prepare their salary all the time. So what HR will do, they will just check the absentees, then there will be an hourly or daily rate of yours into your organization. So based on that, system will calculate the remuneration that you are going to receive. And once they have the amounts into their hands, what they will do, they will forward it to the financial module. From there, funding will be checked and payments will be made to your particular accounts. So this is how we are interacting with different modules. That is why we say SAP system or any ERP system as a integrated system, because we are communicating with other modules also. Okay? Kumar and Pradeep, you can hear me, right? Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So the second thing that we are going to see here is real timeliness. Whenever you work with a software, that software is somehow connected to some databases in the background, so that whatever data you are saving or retrieving, that can be handled. So what happens in SAP, generally like railway reservation or flight simulation systems, they are in real time. Real time means they are very small time lag when you do the transaction, and when actually system blocks that. In software there is a procedure of synchronization. Till you leave a resource, that resource will be blocked. So that is how what happens. Say for example, you have 100 units of some product into your inventory, and you have sold 50 out of that. So once you sold 50, same time the inventory should be updated. Otherwise, others will see still 100 is remaining into the inventory, but that has been sold already. If there is a time lag, there can be some discrepancy into the system. Maybe you will be not having any stocks, but your system will still showing it. So the system should be in real time. Okay. The third thing we are going to discuss here is process orientation. Basically, whenever a company gets SAP software, they get it as a blank package. Every organization is different. Every sector is different. So what happens, SAP doesn't provide you a already cooked software. They will give you the software. You have to call upon one of the implementation partners. A lot of big names are there. Big sorts like Accenture is there, TCS is there, Wipro is there. Like these kind of companies are involved in implementation. What happens, there used to be a team of 40-50 members who will go to the implementation site and they will just take the client's requirements and maybe they will work for 10 months, 12 months, something. They will just do the requirement gathering, and according to that they will do the implementation. So that is what happens here. Please give me a moment. So what happens, the softwares you have to customize according to the company's requirement. So XYZ company is having whatever processes and whatever functions, you have to customize the SAP software which will suit to their organization, and that kind of software you have to customize by your hands. So SAP is just providing the access, the software. You have to customize it. You have to get it customized by one of the implementation partners. That is why SAP system is called as a process-oriented system. Means whatever processes you have, only they will be implemented. Let me give you an example over here. Say for example, we are just in services sector. We are not procuring any material. We are not converting it to the any finished goods. So what exactly we are doing? We are providing services. So do you think production planning module will be necessary over there? Because we are not producing anything. So production planning is not at all necessary. So we will not waste the resources of the system. We'll just implement the system which is necessary for running the services part. Right? Now, on the other hand, SAP system is highly customizable. Highly customizable means like we have Java, C, C++. Same way, we have a programming language called ABAP. SAP has been designed in that particular programming language. So that is a 4th generation language. You can easily customize the things. Say for example, if say take example of our organization, almost 90% of the things you will see is possible directly with SAP. But 10% things are not actually like that, which can be really implemented into SAP without any customization. So for that case, you can get the software customized also. Say for example, some function is not available. So that function can be created through the help of programming, or maybe SAP gives you different types of reports also. But maybe some reports are not sufficient for the top management. So what can be happening over there? Your ABAPer can customize you new reports that will suit your organization. So these are the few functionalities that SAP or any ERP package provides you. Let's move further. I'm going to talk about a 3-tier architecture. When you hear about SAP, you hear about R3 also. SAP R3. R for Rajasthan and 3 is the digit 3. So you will hear about SAP R3. R3 is nothing but it's the 3-tier architecture. 3-tier means every user, whether it will be a developer, it will be a user, or it will be a system administrator, they have to get logged in through the SAP GUI, or you can say any GUI package that will be used for accessing the server. Server will be in the middle where all the application or business logic will be there. Means whenever implementation will be done on the application server only. No user will be directly working on the application side. Everyone has to use one of the GUI interfaces to access this application server. And then this application server is connected to the database in the background. It is a bit technical, maybe for Sandeep. So what happens? A user used to make request for saving or retrieving the data. This request will go to the application server. Here all the programming logic will be resolved. Then it will provide the references of the particular table. Say for example, you are saving some data. So that data will be saved, but where it is going to be saved will be decided by the application server. If you request something, application server knows where the data you have requested has been saved. So it will help you out in, getting that particular data from the database. So this is why this particular system is called as 3-tier or R3 architecture. Guys, one more thing, you can ask questions any point of time. No need to be completely silent or something. Okay, so if something is coming into your mind, you can ask me in between also. All right.
All right.
Let's move on. See, on the previous slide we saw application server. We are going to discuss about application only on the next particular slide. Here. This is called technical configuration of SAP. There are 3 different copies of the same server: development server, testing server, and production server. The SAP application server has been divided in 3 same copies, not different, 3 same copies of the application server. On one, I mean the development one, we have to do all the customizations. Customization means whatever changes or whatever new things you have to do onto the system, they will be done on the development side only. SAP consultants work on development side. Okay, then once you develop something, say for example, you have to create a vendor account group, administrative vendor, maybe you have to create it. You will create it on a development server. Once it has been created, it will be checked on testing side. Once testing people will get satisfied with that, whatever functionality or whatever feature you have requested for, if this is according to that and they have passed it, then only it will be moved to the production server. Production is the real-time server where day-to-day data postings are happening. Means this is a very secure environment. You cannot modify anything over here.
Hey, Akhilesh?
Yeah.
Akhilesh? This
Yes,
is Kumar.
please.
You said, I mean, the FICO consultants is going to develop anything, only the ABAP programmers is going to develop, right? I mean, so...
Yeah, ABAP are going to develop.
Oh, okay.
On
so
the
FICO consultant is nowhere related to the development side, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
In your point of view, it is really not doing anything on the development side, because whenever you think of something, Kumar, you started thinking about the codings, programmings and all that, right?
Yeah.
We are developers, but we are just developing the logics into the system. We are not creating anything on the source code side.
So the configuration also will come as a part of the development here?
See, there are 2 parameters over here. One parameter is something if you are doing on the system side, means if you are modifying the system exactly, then in that case it will go into ABAP's back. Okay. If you are developing something on the FICO side, means some financial concept you have to implement. That will come on the functional side. There are 2 aspects of it: system side and functional side. So we are just responsible for functional side.
Oh, okay.
Not the system side.
Sorry, Akhilesh, I have one question.
Yeah, Sandeep, go on.
Yeah, actually, so this means the SAP FICO peoples, they are just here for giving consultation only, not for development.